So last week on Tech Talk, I teased a service coming up that you guys actually had an opportunity to pre-order for, of a service that I have been excited about for the last 6 months, and I've been wanting to tell everybody about it, but because of NDAs I couldn't. But finally the time has come where I get to do this review. Now there's very few things that ever make me really excited anymore, and this is one of them. The new EVGA Silent Series power supplies offer excellent silence and efficiency through their new EVGA Eco Mode technology, and also features a 7-year warranty for worry-free gaming. Click the link in the description to learn more. Now, it's no surprise that I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to hardware and liking high-end stuff. But the reality is most people, including myself, cannot afford everything you see here. I'm just in a very fortunate position to be able to review the coolest stuff on the planet. Now this review is absolutely no exception. Now this video has been 6 months in the making because last year I sat down with a company called Leap Computing and they asked me how I felt about doing like cloud-based gaming stuff. And I thought, well, you know, there's a lot of hurdles there, and if you can overcome those, you might be onto something. They were excited about it, I was excited about it, and last week on Tech Talk, which is a podcast Barnacles and I do every single Thursday, we just kind of hang out. It's like hanging out at the bar and just talking about whatever we want. I got to kind of let the cat out of the bag, if you will, that I'm going to be the first reviewer taking a look at this cloud-based gaming service here from Leap Computing called HyperGate. Now, I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit skeptical when they first asked me about this because I thought, man, there's a lot of variables that are just out of your control. I mean, how are you going to deal with ISP lag? How are you going to deal with latency? How are you going to deal with, you know, different data center distribution? How are you going to deal with global clients? Well, Leap Computing is definitely the folks that can pull this off because they are absolutely based on cloud-based computing, on not just gaming, but all sorts of stuff involving the cloud. So who better than to do cloud-based gaming than somebody who is a huge part of the cloud. Now there is some pre-order information I'm going to put in this video, but it's going to be at the end, so you guys are going to want to watch for that. I already talked about it on Tech Talk, but today we're going to actually do the live demo. And now here's what's cool about today's demo is you're going to see a pretty impressive performance. Demonstration. That's what demo means. Unless we're talking about demolition, in which case if this service sucks, we'll demo it or demolition it. I have no idea where I'm going with this. Now let's go ahead and talk about the base hardware real quick. Now, right now, if you pre-order, you can actually get the service for half off for life. So any of the tiers of service, you can actually get half off for the life of your account as long as you don't cancel it for more than 3 months. But you get a dedicated 5820K that's a hex core 12-thread CPU. You get 16 gigabytes of RAM, DDR4 RAM, and you get 128 gigabytes of storage, as well as your choice of either a top-tier AMD Radeon graphics card or an NVIDIA Titan X. Now that's yours. Now for limited time, if you do pre-order, you can get the service for $29.99 a month. Now basically, this is going to be your hardware. It's like your machine, but it's hosted in a data center. That is already astronomically cheap when it comes to data center hosting at that price. If you go look up how much dedicated servers like that would cost, and then try and tell me that even $59.99 isn't an outrageous steal. But on top of that, you can add more storage, 500 gigabytes or 1 terabyte or 32 gigabytes of RAM, or, I mean, it's just, this is where they're starting the service, and they're going to be doing more and more hardware in the future with lower tiers of hardware if you decide, you know, you don't need all of that. But really, for the price, I don't know why you wouldn't want it. Now, I don't want to sit here in front of the camera doing all sorts of just yakety-yakety-yak about it. I want to go ahead and turn around and get into the machine, and let's do a demonstration. Now, the machine that we're using is a media box. This is a box that's been assembled to allow us to demo the service, and it actually has lesser specs than what's going to be in the client, retail version. This is only an i7-4790K, which is a 4-core 8-thread, not a 6-core 12-thread. Has 16 gigabytes, but it's DDR3, not DDR4. And we do have an AMD Radeon Tahiti-based GPU. This would be like a 7970 version, or this might even be, I believe, I didn't open up the box, I don't want to be too intrusive, but I believe this might even be one of their Fire Pros in there, but it's a Tahiti-based graphics card. So it's going to be absolutely amazing when it comes to rendering, and I mean, basically everything you're going to see is on a box that's lesser specs than what you're actually going to get at launch. So enough chatting, let's just go ahead and turn around, get into the demo, And let's see how the gaming on this actually performs.
Transition.
Well, it feels like forever and a year since I've been in this format. Actually, we should be doing some more stuff like this. So here's the website, leapcomputing.com. And when you come here and you click sign up, here's basically the information about it. It's half off right now for all signups, whether you use my code or not. It's half off. But you get an option of 5820K hex core, a GTX Titan X, or an AMD Radeon GPU with 8 gigabytes of VRAM, 16 gigabytes of DDR4 on both, 128 gigabyte hard drive, as well as Windows 8.1 Pro. Now, if you hit pre-order, there's even a couple of different options that you can utilize here. You can do AMD level 1, 2, 3, or 4. And basically, the differences here is the amount of hard drive space and the system RAM. So level 2 is 500 gigs. I highly recommend level 2. It's only $5 more for pre-order because 128 gigabytes is going to fill up incredibly fast. Level 3 gets you 1 terabyte, and then level 4 gets you 1 terabyte and 32 gigabytes of DDR4. So that's pretty much the service right there. And when you install the service, you get this little it's their own client, and it's going to give you complete access to the server. So we're going to go ahead and log in, and I'm not going to show you my login info. We don't want to do that. All right, so once you log in here, it says server at the bottom. If you have more than one server, then you would see those there. But right now I'm connected to Leap Computing because that's my server. And when this text turns green, you can hit connect, and once you do that, it will bring up a window. Bam. So here is our desktop. Now, as you can see, it's in a window. We have full control over it as if we were at the machine. Now, it's going to seem a lot like an RDP, but it's not. It's a completely proprietary piece of software that is written specifically from Leap Computing for this service. So don't confuse it for an RDP. But you have full control over it. And that's what Barnacles and I were talking about on Tech Talk that makes this thing so amazing is things like OnLive didn't give you full control over the system like this. This is the same as if you took a computer, put it into a data center, and then you have full control over it. Now, you're not going to be able to do things like install torrents or any sort of miners or anything like that, or Counter-Strike servers, because this is not for setting up servers and hosting. So it's going to have its own software built in that's going to kill those services and keep them from being able to run because of the fact that that's not what this is. You're not buying a server to host things. You're buying a server to play games on. That is the point of this service. Now, this is what a 1080p window looks like in a 1440p panel. Technically, we're looking at a 1440p, so you can see the amount of difference right, here. It's a massive amount of difference in pixels. So I'm going to go ahead and push this guy over here into one of my side panels. All right, so now we're in the Leap Computing app that's built into the server. And as you can see, we're in the Setup tab. And if we had multiple encoders built in here, like for instance, AMD is our only option because that's all we have is a single AMD card on here. Quality, there's 3 different settings here. You have high quality, balanced, and low latency. Now here's the thing. The server is going to be running 1080p. That's the native resolution for the server. And if you want lower latency, which is less time between the signal reaching you or being encoded and sent to you, then you're going to want to go with AMD because AMD cards are actually superior to NVIDIA when it comes to their pure encoding power. Now, if you want higher FPS at the sacrifice of a little bit of network latency, then you're going to want to go ahead and go with an NVIDIA graphics card. Now, you can also see we have 3 quality presets here. We have high quality, balanced, and low latency. Well, here we go inside of Grid Autosport. So we've got it on balanced mode, and let's go ahead and take a look here at... All right, so our settings are going to be set to high. I set them to high, and then MSAA and all that's on 4x. So we're going to be doing, well, I guess the same type of settings I would be running this game at probably locally. Or, I mean, I guess realistically, I'd probably be doing it more like maxed out settings. So let's do that. Graphics here. Preset high, we'll do preset ultra. There we go. All right. One other thing I want to mention, though, is you may have noticed is that the sound, it's off by about a half second. Now, they've assured me that that is not going to be the case when the system launches or the service launches. That has to do specifically with this one machine that we're using for the demo, and that the drivers for the built-in audio on the motherboard are having a problem with the rendering, so it's always 1/2 second behind. So that's not going to be the case with, you know, the actual service. So we'll just have to live with it as is. That's if you guys can even hear it. I'm trying to keep the volume kind of down on it because there's a lot of music in here that I'm not licensed to use, so I don't exactly want to get my video flagged. All right, so let's go ahead and do, as you can see, we're getting 60 FPS here at the window. The FPS for Fraps that you're seeing is the amount of frames I'm getting from the service. So that's how much is being encoded and sent to me. So that's how many FPS I'm actually getting out of the cloud-based gaming stuff. All right, here we go. So I guess the question here is going to be, can I do this without it feeling like I'm being gimped by latency? I have a feeling the only thing I'm going to be gimped by really is my own driving ability. If you ask me. Whoa! Yeah, I don't like driving with the keyboard much. That's not a lot of fun. So because we're on balance mode, there is a little bit of blockiness, but that's because I want to make sure I get at least that 60 FPS. But the blockiness really isn't that bad, to be honest. There's a little bit of encoder blockiness there. Now, if I was to put this up to high quality, we would, of course, be sacrificing some FPS. So you're going to have to determine what it is that's high there. I broke your window. Sorry. I have insurance. We can deal with it later. We'll swap information at the end of the race. But you know, I feel like the controls are very responsive. I don't feel like I'm dealing with any terrible latency here in terms of controlling the car. I just can't control the car because I suck. I've never played Grid before this, so I'm completely green at this. Or Team Red, in this case, because it's an AMD card. Whoa. Alright, so that's Grid. Let's go ahead and let's try a shooter. I don't really want to mention which shooter it is, but we're going to do a shooter. Alright, so as much as I hate to admit it, we're going to do some Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Okay. Aftermath. Detroit, Michigan. Exotype Specialist. Riot Shield. Overdrive and stuff. This is some sort of like a... Oh, that's right. They're copying Crysis. I remember now. That's right. I forgot. I don't know why... Everybody's blue. Everybody's blue. Joker. Oh, there's always someone named Joker in the military. Gideon. Okay. 60 hertz monitor. PA248. Okay. Yeah, see, it is a Fire Pro that's in here. Like I said, it's a Fire Pro W8000. So this is a Tahiti. That's old stuff. Well, there we go. We got our color tones back. Apparently going into bordered, windowless, or windowed borderless works. So now we're no longer playing the Smurf edition. Now, like I said, FPS shooters are going to be clearly the most noticeable when it comes to being any sort of latency. So we're going to find out real quickly if this is, if this lives up to the expectations, that is. Well, this is a big looking dude. Got 4 operatives on bikes heading in. Mission order 5527. Okay, you're good. Open it up. Well, these guys aren't friendly at all. I guess we'll come back when something actually happens. So, because so far, Advanced Warfare is nothing more than cutscene simulator. Frames per second is looking pretty good. We're in the 80s. Now that's one of the things you guys complained about most when I showed other streaming services, even in-home streaming, was that you guys were like, 30 FPS? No way. Screw 30 FPS. Well, clearly we're getting way above that.
Joker, I've got bodies.
Well, that's nice. They're all sleeping together. This guy got spaghetti on his back. Messy eater. Nothing bad's gonna happen here, huh? Oh no, I didn't see that coming.
Mitchell, hold tight. I'm trying to get down to you.
Didn't see that coming. Oh, we're still falling through the ground. The sound being off a little bit weird is kind of funny. There you go. Oh. Well, we're just giving him his shots, guys. That's all. Yeah, I have no problems aiming whatever at all with this. This is pretty lag free. Killed that dog. Oh wow. I didn't realize that guy was right there. Shot his foot. I mean, look at the FPS. The FPS is actually doing really good. Whoa, hello. Ow. I just am not very good at this game, that's all. Yep. So the bottom line here is I have absolutely no... There's like no lag with this. Well, except for the sound, but like I said, that's a bug that's going to be repaired. Alright, well, there you go. That was Call of Duty. FPS shooter, very, very doable, actually, with high FPS. I mean, 80s, can't complain about that, can you? But I think one of the coolest things, obviously, about this whole thing is the fact that you get a full desktop control with it. So like I said, you could do a lot of things with this. Anything you could do with your own PC, with the exception of, torrenting and doing servers, like I said. All right, so let's go ahead and turn around. Let's just kind of talk about the service and how I feel about it, when it's available, and whether or not I think this is something that the future is ready for, or whether or not this is ready for the future. Whatever. Well, guys, there you go. When I did some of the stuff earlier in the year, like the Doko, you guys were like, no, 30 FPS is terrible. But as you can see here, the guys over at Leap Computing have definitely found a way to bring you very low latency, very high FPS, up to 144 FPS actually, cloud-based gaming. Now this has a lot of uses that I think would be absolutely beneficial to anybody who's looking for a way to bring their stuff with them when they go places. For instance, when I was working full-time, I was traveling quite often for my business, and I did not have a gaming laptop. I still don't have a gaming laptop. But I did have a basic professional grade laptop that I was able to carry with me everywhere I went. And I could have done all of the gaming that you just saw me doing even on a low-end laptop, because again, all this thing is doing is sending a video signal that your computer has to decode, no different than if you were doing something like watching YouTube or whatever. But the cool thing about this service is the fact that you have control over the quality of it as well as the latency of it. So you can choose if you want quality, latency, or balanced. So everything we saw today was actually on balanced. Low latency would have given us even lower lag, but I wasn't really getting any lag. And high quality would have limited the FPS a bit more down into the 30s or 40s, which is what a lot of people wouldn't have wanted. Now, at high quality with the Titan X option, it would have been higher FPS, but there would have been a little bit more latency involved. Unfortunately, I didn't have a Titan X version of the server available, just the one with the AMD Fire Pro in it. So I think this has a lot of uses. I think people who want to be able to do their encoding or their editing and stuff mobile as well, because as you saw, with the full desktop functionality, you could install your Adobe Cloud or what Adobe software on the server and then upload your stuff via FTP. You're going to have a full control panel available to you. So you could upload your stuff to the server and have your videos online that you could edit on the go and pick up with wherever you left off from one machine to another. It's not like in my case where I've got all my editing stuff on one machine and I've got to transfer it via my LAN to other machines. It's all transferred via the cloud. Now, another use for this is if you couldn't afford a full-on gaming machine, but you could afford, say, $30 a month, and you already have a basic computer or like a Walmart box or something, then you'd be able to have high-end hardware, including like a Titan, a hex core, 16 gigs of DDR4 for 30 bucks a month, and it would take 3 years to recoup the cost alone of a Titan X at $30 a month, let alone the rest of the system. And not only that, they are going to be doing upgrades as hardware is upgraded as well, included in the price. So if you had, let's say, a Titan X today, and then next year the next line of Titan cards launch, the next generation, it's, I don't know, Titan XYZ, I don't know, then you'll get an automatic upgrade, so you're always on that top tier hardware and getting the level of hardware of which you've paid for at no extra cost. They just take out the old hardware and update it over time, and you get free updates for no charge whatsoever. Really makes you wonder how the hell they're going to make any money at this, but it's a pretty awesome, worthwhile endeavor, at least to give it a shot. It's month to month. It's not even a contract. So one last thing too is they are offering a free gift for people who sign up using my promo code, which is J2C, the letter J, not J-A-Y, J2C, and they're going to give you a free gift. I have no idea what it is, to be honest with you. And they're also going to flag your account with a 2-cent discount. I know, right? JayzTwoCents. But that actually flags you for future things that are going to be available only to people who pre-ordered using the J2C promo code. Again, I don't get any kickback. I don't get any portion of those proceeds, no money. This is just something I think is freaking amazing. I love it. I'm going to use the hell out of it. And this is just 100% me speaking like a computer geek because I think this is freaking cool. So there you go, guys. If you have any questions, hit up leapcomputing.com. Check it out. The pre-order, that half off is only good during the pre-order. Once they go live, it's no longer half off. It's 60 bucks instead of 30 bucks. So you definitely don't want to wait. And they're only going to charge you the 1 month to do the pre-order, and then they won't charge you again until 30 days after the service goes live. So you're not going to be paying up until the service goes live. Just one-time setup, and then until it goes live, nothing else. So there you go, guys. What do you think of this cloud-based gaming stuff? I can think of a lot of ways I would use this, both good and gooder. All right, guys, as always, I had a lot of fun making this video for you guys. And of course, thank you for watching.